Good morning, Michael. I have you starred. Salama, I have you starred. Good morning. I hope everybody who finds me today, I'm here. So the title is the Yeti going to the dentist again? Yeah, probably. So I want to talk about how we're all feeling right now. One of the things that I want to talk about is us being empaths on this channel. We breathe, breathe. Good
Power
morning.
on.
Power on.
Bluetooth connected.
So I don't know what's going on in the White House no more than anybody else does, because we're not connected to the White House. We're not in there. So I'm thinking that maybe we need to stop concentrating on what we can't change and concentrate on what we can change. And one of the things I can change is how I go forward from this day forward. Every day is a new day. You realize it's the beginning of our future. Every day is. So if you take and acknowledge the fact that you're not perfect, none of us are, but when we make a mistake, hi Akila, when we make a mistake, it's up to us to fix it, right? I mean, I never had any upbringing. And so me being the way I am is kind of, I think, because I wasn't raised. I wasn't nurtured. Hi, Port Pool. Oh, Port Pool. That's cool. Hi, how are you? So I just want y'all to know that today is the beginning of your new life. And if you take and always, I want to move closer. It's scary right now, isn't it, you guys? Isn't it freaking scary? I'm telling you, indie man, I find that being at 70 versus when I was 30, at 30, I was working, I had kids, I had a spouse, I was doing the thing. And I never thought about my government. I never feared what was going on in my government. I never had those fears. And I wish the young people today could understand what it was like for us. They call us baby boomers, but there was nothing booming about me. By the time I got to the end there, it was pretty much, yeah, it was weird. What are you here for? I'm here for guidance, Leroy, because a lot of the people nowadays don't have the support that we used to have, because families didn't have to live across the country. If they did it, it was more or less out of choice, where now it's becoming a mandatory or an important thing, so that when we're dealing with cutting, when they started cutting all the safety nets for the working people, our country has been just getting slowly destroyed. It started back under Reagan, when he eliminated all of the mental health hospitals, insane asylums, stuff like that. They eliminated them. So then they put those people in the streets. So now we have, now that we have all these people in the streets and living in our houses that don't get any mental health help. What are we supposed, what are they supposed to do? What is us and our families? I couldn't put my sister away. She needed it. She really needed some mental stability. And because of the new laws under the Republic, or not the Republic, Reagan, President Reagan changed when he closed all that. Now our families can't get the help. Like, we can't help our families because they tied our hands. We couldn't put her into even a short-term safety situation. My sister and I, we tried. And unfortunately, my sister died alone in a motel room in a rural town. And I had to go and clean up her room where she laid on the floor and died. Okay. But I loved her and I took care of her. I even bought her a house at one time and she refused to live in it. So I ended up selling it because she just refused. She was she needed help. Yeah. And we need more help. And I've been really watching the cop shows a lot, and a lot of those people that come up against the law, it's just that they're frustrated. They have no money. They have no way of helping themselves. And now it's even worse because, that organization that came in and wiped out all of our federal jobs. Yeah, in the hospitals, in our local little hospital right here, just in this little clinic by my house, we lost 2 doctors here, and it's getting harder, isn't it? So I don't know what to tell you guys for encouragement, because I know the Yetti was going in for another dental treatment, and then I saw that he might have had to go in. Yeah, even a little short-term stay would help, but they don't. Our hands are tied. We can't do nothing because they took it from us. Am I single? Well, yeah, Jay, are you single? Yeah, I'm single by choice. Life is okay. It's not bad. Good morning, Shining Love. Connecticut. Out there grounding and getting energy. Oh, this is what we all need. Yay, yay. Don't we all need that? Thank you, Shining Love, for sharing that with us. Anybody have anything to say about what I'm talking about? Aren't you frustrated? Do you have family that you want to help, but you can't help because legally your hands are tied and you can't help them because of that? I don't know what to tell people anymore. Life is just getting more challenging. But as an empath, and if those who are just here now, I'm a what do you call? I'm an empath and intuitive, and my guides are actual people I knew in real life. They're all deceased now, but they were either friends, family, or friends and somebody I worked for, which is really cool. And I just am looking for that space, that time where you put your time in working, and at the end of the work week, you pay the bills and you see what's left over, and you actually have enough to buy a pizza dinner for the entire family for Saturday night and watch great movies, or have a barbecue in the backyard with all the family, and not worry that, oh, can I afford to pay the light bill next week? We shouldn't have to live this way, you guys. We should not have to live from having enough money to get us through 4 days of the week, and then the other 3 days we don't have any money. Okay, this message is for the higher uppers in power, the billionaires. Billionaires, if you keep doing to us what you've been doing, and that is making us non-existent, that you don't need us, you don't want us. Okay, FF, freaky friends, billionaires, I got a message for you. Your robots don't buy tampons. Your robots don't buy T-bone steaks. So with you guys buying up all the farmland and converting it into AI data centers, guess what, suckers? You ain't got nobody to pay for it, because you've done eliminated us as humans. You guys are so rich that you took over our voting. You have taken away our safety nets as human beings here on Earth. There's people who wouldn't be losing their kids who are working full-time jobs because they can't afford a daycare so that they can afford to go to work. Okay, billionaires, this is to the billionaires. Please, please, please stop, or there's just not going to be anybody left. Personally, I'm glad I wasn't born in the 1980s or 90s. Those poor kids, now adults, really don't have much of a future, do they? Even if they go to college, who can afford to pay? They're working. This is what our society is right now. Everybody is working. Everybody is paying their bills. And then when they get done, they go to the grocery store, and then they have to pull out their credit card at almost 30% interest to buy milk and cereal for their children. While the billionaires go, oh, cha-ching, now I can go buy that other island that I've always wanted so that we can start a new organization. And have any of you heard about China actually putting AI data centers out in the ocean so that it doesn't have to require using humans' water supply and humans' electricity, so that we're not paying $300-400 light bills per month for a data center that I really avoid using. So, yeah, I wish they'd all move to Mars too. Hey, they can do whatever they want then. They can just do what they want. But that's really a good energy because they're not stealing our water. Ah, I'm not college educated. I had some college, but I never got a college degree, okay? I have life experience. I have learned from working and living and experiencing, and it's okay. I hate the light in my. That's why I keep moving around. I keep trying to get out of the light. Um, it just sucks, people. I'm serious. That's even worse. I gotta go down. No, okay. It's just gotten worse. Yep, Indy, man, I wish they would move to Mars. I'm just so sick of it. Do you realize that at the rate we're going right now in this country, that um there may be nothing. I don't know if we're gonna have a country. I'm very I see, well, okay, let me put it this way. I don't know what we're gonna have when it's done. All I know is that it's gonna be lighter, brighter, but all I see with this Iranian war thing going on, and all I see what their the present government run operations here are making it possible for solar air or solar power, wind power, and water power to become more desirable and more efficient financially, and a heck of a lot better for the environment of our country. So that's my point. That's where I'm at right now. I just I just wish you all could experience what we had when we were children. Cuz I'm on the winter chapter of my life, which means I'm 70 plus. I'm in the winter chapter. I'm in the analyzing, looking over things, figuring out where I was, where I want to go, what's my purpose? Did I do what I was supposed to do? That's the chapter of life that I'm at. But a lot of you aren't there yet. But I can share with you and express with you what it was like um, before women got the right to uh, have a bank account. We weren't allowed to have a bank account unless our fathers or our husbands co-signed for us. Yeah, and the 60 plus. Yeah, you understand. Yeah. We're close, Fatima, in age, and things were so much different when we were kids. It was a lot safer, it seemed like to me. And so we all have to look at this, you guys. What do we want for 2027? Let's start saying, okay, oh, raise the roof. 2027 is going to be bright and beautiful. That's what I see. That's what I want. And I want to be able to still do my channel and still bring encouragement and still have laughs. I like to laugh. Gellick likes to laugh. Nancy and Kath. Well, Nancy's my quiet girl, but my daughter Kathy, she's a little she's a Wiccan, by the way. This is funny. I just thought of it just this moment. They just said to me, do you realize you have a Buddhist, I have a Wiccan, and I have a Christian spirit guide, you guys? I just realized that. Yes, common sense and harmony. We had more common sense back in the day in harmony. And now, ever since the last 11, 12 years. And I'm not going to say it was just that Yetti. It wasn't just him. He is the one that is actually shy, as my mother would say, he made the bullets and she fired him. And that's what he would be talking about when my mother would be talking about like a husband and wife or a girlfriend and boyfriend. And she would say to people, yeah, well, you're mad at her, but he's the one that made the bullets, you know. And this is for entertainment purposes only. I'm just quoting my mother. And another one of my mother's favorite sayings was, here, smell this. It's enough to gag a maggot. No thanks, Mom. If it's gagging a maggot, I don't think I want to smell it. So we have to go back to those times, you guys, and stop worrying about what Humpty Dumpty Dicky Tiny Dicky Mushroom Head is doing. We don't have to care. So he's gone to the dentist today. Come on, Barry. And if y'all don't know who Barry is, check it out on Sunday nights. There's a lot of channels now. We're all saying Barry. We want Barry to help us out. Come on, Barry. So what else is happening, you guys? You know, I do watch the news. I don't watch a lot. As soon as they start irritating me, or as soon as my spirit guides start saying, okay, that's enough information, I change it. Yes, we were Fatima. You know, this is what life was back then. You know, I had a bike my father found in a park, and he cleaned it up and he put new tires on it, and I had a bike. Didn't have any brakes on it, by the way, but I had a bike. And so I ran into a few things because I had no brakes, but you know, that's what it was like when we back in the day. My father was born in 1897, okay? He literally was born in the previous century. So when you figure that I was being raised by people from another century, you think I might have. Oh, I'm traveling out of town to get my account keys to go out. Let me see what this is. I'm sorry, I got sidetracked. Cat posted something. So anyhow, my father was in World War One. Okay, he was 17 years old. I no longer have the picture. That was another life story challenge. My life's, I'm happy, but I earned it. That's okay. It'll be all good in the end. Uh, so then my mother was born in 1915, the other 1915. So I was raised differently than most. Uh, I don't know what to tell you, folks. Let me see. I did something here, and I'm not sure I like it now. You know how us posters are. So, you got anything else you want to ask me? Like, I've lived in 5 states. I've worked 45 years of my life. I retired, and after my daughter died, 2 years after my daughter died, I finally retired. But I'll tell you what, that's an awakening. You want to know what it's like when you lose a child. Um, October 30th, 1971, I was dropped off in a hospital emergency exit. exit entrance. I was 15 years old and I was in labor. And my sister and her husband drove me there, and he wouldn't let her stay with me or call my mother to come be with me while I gave birth. My daughter Kathy came into my life. Kathy came into my life in 1971. Women were not allowed to have abortions. It was illegal, okay? My mother tried to force me to have an illegal abortion, otherwise a back alley abortion. And I was like going, oh, hell no. And besides that, Kathy wasn't conceived by rape or incest. Kathy was her father was my boyfriend from the age of, I want to say 13. I was 13 and he was 16. He was 3 years older. And so technically my mother could have got him for rape, but I begged him not to because it wasn't rape. I'm not that type of person. I would never accuse somebody of assaulting me or hurting me or raping me or stealing from me or anything without a real cause, a real validation. So my childhood was a little hard at the time. So I just went, no, I'm not going to keep her. I had a baby bed. I had worked. I was going to homeschooling. I was doing everything I was supposed to. And when it came right down to it, I went, no, I cannot raise her in the same hellhole. And that's what I called it. I could not raise my daughter in the same hellhole that I was growing up in. Mind you, I was 15 at the time, by myself in a hospital in Ann Arbor, Michigan. I don't know why this is not lining up right. I don't know what's wrong with it. So I don't know if you guys want to hear the story or not. It's kind of long. So I had Kathy and I, she was born. It was just her and I. And when I'm sorry, it's when she was born, it was in a Catholic hospital. So we had nuns as our nurses. And the nurses would say that at nighttime when I would get up and walk in my sleep and I would stand at the nursery windows and stare at her and just cry. I don't remember it. That's what they told me I did. I never cried like this about this. Thank you, you guys. I'm sorry. Fuck the Yetti today. Fuck the Yetti. Fuck the pedophiles. Fuck the Russians, the Iranians. Fuck them all. They're not the ones paying for our food on our tables. They're not the ones paying our electric bills. They're not. It's us, you guys. We have to stick together. It's us. We have to help each other. And when my daughter was born, I gave her up and I was able to get a baby picture of her from the adoptive parents. So it was really nice. So I carried that with me all my life. I had a baby picture of her And then when she was like 3 or 4, they sent me another picture of her sitting on Santa Claus's lap. This is some of the stuff that's going into my book, you guys. This is actually going in my book. So when she was born, I begged not to go back home to my parents' house. I begged them, please don't make me go back there. I would rather go to a I begged to go to an orphanage or someplace. I didn't want to go back home. So my family stepped in, and my sister Jerry took me in temporarily until they built a new house. One town over, her and her husband had their own manufacturing company and stuff. So after their new house got built, Jerry told me that I couldn't come and live with them anymore because the house wasn't big enough. There wasn't enough bedrooms. Okay, we were moving from a 3-bedroom house to a 5-bedroom house, but it's like, okay, well, there was no place for me. It was only a 3,500 square foot house, but there was no room for me. So that forced me back to live with my parents. Needless to say, I already felt like the home I lived in with my parents was I'm sorry. The home I lived in with my parents was the one that Jerry said was plenty big enough for me to live at that time with them, which was actually smaller. So I gave Kathy up for adoption to Jean and John Martin. They were Christian. So my daughter kind of grew up hating Christians because they were Bible thumping Christian, vegan, uh, all kinds of stuff like that. So after she went to after she went to them, I didn't hear from her again after they sent me the pictures of her. I did go to I went to Catholic Social Services when she was 16. When she was 16 years old, I went to where I gave her up for adoption and filled out all my current information in case she ever wanted to locate me. Or I told what her father's name was because it was Bradley Jones, Bradley J. Jones, now deceased. Just a couple of years ago, actually. I saw his obits. I search obits, dig dandelions. I love digging out dandelions and reading the obits. Well, I'm there as long as I'm not in there. That's what I look for. No. So anyway, back to the story. So to long story short, my daughter Catherine come back into my life in I want to say 98. I'm not 98. I want to say somewhere around there. And and she and the first time her and I met, we sat and talked for 9 hours straight, and it was just so wonderful. For 9 hours, her and I talked. It was like looking at myself, eh? See? That's what So anyhow, let me go on. On. When she was 24 years old, she looked me up. So the first 24 years of her life, I didn't get to see her other than the pictures. And it was just so healing. And I remember that because I was sitting at my kitchen table with my now ex-husband, my husband at the time, and we were sitting there, and I got this phone call, and it was like this huge, it was like what do you call it? A dam broke loose. It was like a dam, just like all these emotions of 24 years of worrying and wanting to know and feared that she wasn't safe. It was so healing at the time. It was very healing, actually. So then, from then, we lived together off and on for 16 years. I helped her have deliver her children. Uh, we worked together. I'm looking for. Hold on, Denise. Here we go. So that's what it was like. That's why my daughter, and she's here with me. Okay, you guys, my daughter's always here with me, which is, I'm blessed for that. Um, so I'm gonna, where is it? I'm looking for it. 83. Here it is. Um, I'm going to read to you instead of telling the story because I wrote it. It took years to write, but it's short. It's not really that long, but I'm going to read it to you. And I know, look at this. Thank you, Fatima. Thank you, Akila. Thank you, Kat. Everybody. Skella. It's called The Longest Drive. I was a truck driver at the time my daughter died. And the reason I owned my truck was so that I could always get to wherever she was as her health was crashing. So, because the last 2 years of her life, she had ulcers and her stomach bulged above her diaphragm, and the ulcer ate through her heart and esophagus. So my daughter had to go in for an 8-hour surgery, and they removed half of her stomach and half of her esophagus, and they had to patch the hole in her heart, and then they put a drainage bag on her chest for her mouth because her esophagus, her throat never longer hooked to her stomach. So then she had to have a feeding tube go into her lower stomach. Okay, this is what my daughter and I went through the last 2 years of her life. So by the time she passed away, okay, here it goes. I got to put reading glasses on. And this is called The Longest Drive. What a beautiful morning. The sun is shining and warming the day nicely for an early day in May. I'm killing some time by talking with the security guard. By the way, my daughter died in May of 2012. Okay. And maybe that's why this is hitting me so hard, because this is the month she passed. Okay. Back to vote. Catherine, help me read this. Gellick, Nancy, thank you. Okay. What a beautiful morning. The sun is shining and warming the day nicely for an early day in May. I'm killing time by talking with the security guard who is sitting in the wooden shack at the Detroiter truck stop in Woodhaven, Michigan. The rumbling sounds of engines with the heavy smell of diesel exhaust linger in the air that bellows from the smokestacks of the trucks coming and going. I'm used to the sounds and the smells, just as if I was sitting on my porch at home, hearing mowers and smelling fresh mowed grass from the neighbors. These sounds and smells are normal of everyday life in the world of trucking. My co-driver and I delivered our load in the wee hours this morning, so he's sleeping soundly in the truck. It's important to sleep whenever you can when you drive a semi as a team. The truck is almost always rolling, and you can't be sleeping while it's rolling. Bill and Pam, husband and wife, drove my truck while I was driving while I trained drivers for other truck owners. They are under a load, so everything in my world is upright in my world. My truck is making money, and I'm too training others to operate a truck as a business. Most drivers think it's a game, a very expensive game. They don't realize. Being first seat, which holds all the responsibilities for the team, I get the calls, I make the decisions, and I do accounting. Otherwise, the buck stops at first seat driver. When a delivery goes wrong, they call the first seat to the carpet as to why the load got screwed up. If tires go flat on the truck, if tires go flat or the truck runs out of fuel, it's always comes back on the first seat. And believe me, there's a whole lot can go wrong, but I must be tough, patient, and not too thin skinned. Life is hard on the road, even harder when you have family. The tune by Willie Nelson, On the Road Again, often plays in my head. I can't go home just because I'm only 200 miles from the house. It's not time and or cost effective. I had just been on home time, so I must wait a couple weeks before I can go home again. Kathy, my daughter, had a stomach reconstruction surgery the month before, so she was in Cleveland, Ohio at Kendrick Hospital for recovery. This is her 8th operation in 2 years. She's doing well, so she says. My phone rings. The number's from Cleveland, Ohio. Excuse me. I must take this call. It's from Cleveland Clinic. The guard acknowledged me by nodding and went back to checking in trucks. I waited a while to hear the female voice on the other end. Can I speak with Mrs. Fletcher, please? She says with tartness. This is she, I said. Mrs. Fletcher, this is Cassandra from Kendra Hospital. I have been trying to reach you since 6 o'clock this morning. I left several messages on your home phone, she said with a snarl in her voice. Well, excuse me for having a job, and I wasn't home to answer your call. I'm sorry, I drive truck and I'm not home most of the time. Of course, I didn't say that to her. That was what I had thought in my head because I kept telling these people, call my cell. Don't call my house phone. I'm not there. That's why you assholes are supposed to call my cell phone. Oh, I already told you that. The woman The woman then softens her voice and begins to tell me that Kathy had been taken to Cleveland Clinic this morning. The nurse checked on Kathy around 5 a.m. and she was not responding to her name being called. After many tries to revive her, they could not get her to answer. So they sent, slow down, Denise, slow down. So they sent her to Cleveland Clinic by ambulance. Mrs. Fletcher, you need to get there as soon as you can. That's what I thought she said. Now my mind goes on overdrive, calculating my move. What she said was, the head nurse at Kendra needs to talk with you, but he's not available right now. He'll call you back soon to talk with you. I woke my co-driver and I'm feeling the anxiety creeping through my body. Jeff, I've got to get to my car. Kathy is in critical condition, I told him with tears in my eyes. They sent her to Cleveland Clinic this morning. Jeff had been with me long enough to know it wasn't good when she went to Cleveland Clinic. He hurriedly dressed and we were on our way to Novi. Thank God I'm only 35 miles from my car this time. I called the owner of the truck. Another trauma thing that went on in my life with Kathy was I was in Arizona and had to get back to Michigan. So that's another story. I called the owner of the truck I was driving for and informed him my daughter was taken to Cleveland Clinic and I had to go. She's not responding to the medical staff this morning, I told him. He says to me in his broken English, go, we have you covered. Let me know how she is. Family comes first. Mind you, I drove one of his trucks, while training his driver. He was Russian. And Russians had more concern for my family than the present. You know what I'm saying? I don't need to say anymore. Okay. He says to me in his broken English, go, we have you covered. Let me know how she is. Family comes first, Denise. Too bad corporations, dispatchers, and load planners don't have this kind of compassion. I have had dispatchers downright disrespect me when I needed to get home for a family member's funeral who had died unexpectedly by a farm accident where he was killed. All the dispatchers want to do was cover his loads and told me, get over it. People die every day. I called his boss and within 2 hours, I was dispatched on a load heading towards home. The dispatcher was heading home too with a pink slip in his hand. I don't get mad, I just get even. That was a t-shirt my mother made for me. After going to the yard where our cars are parked, I pulled my gear. I pulled my gear bag from the truck. Bye, Jeff. I'll call you when I have more to tell you. He gave me a hug. It's going to be all right. She always pulls through. She's a tough, just like her mommy. I hauled ass towards Cleveland. The next 3 hours was the longest trip I have ever driven in my life. On a normal day driving truck, 600 miles is a short trip in trucking. As I'm driving, all I can think of is all the pain Kathy has gone through for the last 5 years of her life. Lord, how much more can she take? Please make this trip bearable. I just want to be on my daughter's side. My worst day is still better than Kathy's best days. Taking over my sanity, a headache is coming, and I need aspirin. Oh, wow. And I'm thinking, where are those aspirin? I always carried aspirin in my purse. I have for 40 years. Just in case of strokes. It's my family history. I need an aspirin. Where are those aspirins? While I dug through my purse. I'm making calls to Cleveland Clinic and Kendra, trying to find Kathy. Is it proving to be a huge challenge? It seems to me they're keeping secrets from me. Nobody wants to tell me. Where is she? Cleveland says she isn't there, and Kendra says they took Kathy to Cleveland. Kathy and I end up, I got to take those off. Kathy and I have been, we had a standing joke. And she would call me and say, Mom, I'm headed to the spa. I had told her one time, Kathy, you really need a new travel agent. These resorts she keeps booking you into suck. It was our way of putting a little humor into a life-threatening situation that her and I were living through. When she is in or heading to the hospital, she calls or texts the spa message to me. Mom, I'm at the spa. This time she did not call. She did not text. It is a hospital staff who called. I knew it was more serious. No jokes this time. The winter before her heart surgeon, the winter before, her heart surgeon called me in about emergency heart surgery. That's how come I knew it was serious, because they would call me. An aneurysm developed on the backside of her heart. He had to go do emergency surgery, but Kathy's surgeon kept me informed with updates day and night. She pulled through a terrifying death again. That's my girl. I'm amazed Catherine didn't have a stroke before the aneurysm had been found, the Dr. Smith said. Mrs. Fletcher, I did an experimental procedure. I have only done this procedure twice. It is a mushroom-shaped plug I insert into the hole of Kathy's heart. After removing the aneurysm, over the time the muscle will grow back around it to close off any leakage of blood. Do you have any questions? No, doctor. She recovered and was back on the road to life. She had been through this same scenario too many times to count over the last 2 years. My emotions were always on a roller coaster. I called Cleveland Clinic and asked the front desk for her room number. There's no Catherine Martin checked in. Maybe she's still in the emergency room. Would you like me to transfer you to the emergency, she says. Yes, please. Hello, this is ER. How can I help you? Hi, this is Denise Fletcher again. I was wondering if Catherine Martin had been brought in yet. I told you there was no Catherine Martin brought in. Agitated as she told me, I explained to the lady that I was told by Kendra in hospital that she was brought there this morning at 6 a.m. and now it's early afternoon. Well, she isn't here, in a short tone. Okay, I just want to know where my daughter is at. I called Kendra and the woman told I called Kendra and told the woman that the Cleveland Clinic said she had not had been brought in there. I asked her, what was she brought back to Kindred? She says, no, but you need to speak with the head nurse. Can you hold Mrs. Fletcher? And I said, yes. Now I'm really getting panicky. This damn headache, I said aloud. She transferred me to another extension. Hello, 4th floor nurses station. How can I help you? After asking to speak with the head nurse about Kathy Martin, I am told that Kathy had been taken to Cleveland Clinic this morning. And then I told the nurse, this was the nightmare of my daughter's. Are you finding my daughter's body? I'm sorry. I'm going to finish this. I'm going to continue, and I'm going to finish this today. Let me go back. Again, I explained, Cleveland says she's not there. Then I'm told by the nurse, you need to talk to the head nurse who was on duty at the time. I was transferred, and this time I got voicemail. So I left a message to call. Please call me because I can't find my daughter, Catherine Martin, who was taken to Cleveland Clinic this morning. I called my son, Kevin. I'm heading to Cleveland because Kathy was taken to Cleveland Clinic. He asked a few questions. My answers were, I don't know. I can't find her right now. I do not know where she is. She's between Cleveland Clinic and Kendron Hospital. By now, I'm really getting a sick feeling in my stomach. My head is hurting as if it had been placed in a vice, which periodically is being tightened tighter and tighter. While driving, I'm digging through my purse looking for aspirin, but cannot find them. I know they're in here. I always carry aspirin. My phone rings. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm going to get through this. My phone rings and it's the head nurse from Cleveland or at Kendron Hospital. Hello, Mrs. Fletcher. Mark Anderson from Cleveland or Kendron Hospital. Mrs. Fletcher, are you driving? He asked with urgency in his voice. I said, no, Mr. Anderson. I have been trying to find Kathy. Cleveland Clinic says she's not there. By this time, I was parked at a rest area on the turnpike in Ohio. Mrs. Fletcher, what have you been told? Well, I've been told that Kathy had been talking with the night nurse about 4:30 this morning, and she told the nurse she was tired and was going to go lay down. About 5:30 a.m., the nurses were making their rounds. When checking on Catherine, she said she was not responding to her name. They tried to revive her and nothing was happening, so they sent her to Cleveland Clinic. That's right, Mrs. Fletcher, Mark Anderson had said. And then I said to him, she passed away, didn't she? He says with a lowered voice, I believe so. You don't have to go. Yes, I do. By now, I'm numb with disbelief. My emotions have been going from hope to despair back to hope. Now it's time for reality. Now it's time for reality, right? Okay. I don't even know if I should publish this. Oh, wow. Okay. Do you all mind if I take a little break here? Just let me take a break, take a drink of coffee. Oh, I forgot to turn my heater on. My coffee. Oh my gosh. So sorry. I will finish. It's not that much longer, just a couple more pages. Ah. Oh. What is this? You must have Carl, what's happening in YouTube world is if we don't hit the all in when we subscribe, hit the all button, is a analytical type thing that's going on. So just have your people make sure they go through and put the all button on following you. Okay. So that's the way that's going. And then Sunday we're having a meeting. Some of us are, to figure out how we can fight the algorithm that they're presently have us under. Wow. Oof. Hi, Shadow Reader. So he says with lowered voice, I believe so. You don't have to go. And I replied, yes, I do. By now, I'm numb with disbelief. My emotions have been going from hope to despair and back to hope. Now it's time for a reality check. Less than an hour from the hospital, I called my son to tell him his sister had died. He asked, Mom, you want Wayne and me to come get you? No, I'm almost to the hospital. I will call you back. By now, oh man, by now, I have the worst headache I have ever had in my life. I still can't find the damn aspirin in my purse. What was I thinking? I should have told my son yes, because I don't remember the drive back after leaving the hospital. Come to think of it, I didn't remember most of the drive to the hospital either. I went into robot mode and is the only thing I can recall. When you are, as I know now, I'm an empath. This kind of explains this. With tears streaming down my cheeks, I called Jeff to tell him Kathy had died and I wouldn't be back for a few weeks. Jeff, please call 11 for me. He said he would. I called Bill and Pam and told them I wouldn't be available for a few days. My daughter had died and only call if it was an emergency. They were running my truck. Um, Ilya is the owner of many of the trucks that I had driven for. He was instrumental in helping me to buy my own truck. He called me when he heard my daughter had died. We talked until I got to the hospital. It really helped to have someone to talk only about business in the past. He was a staunch Russian businessman. In his culture, women rarely worked outside the home, and driving a truck was out of the question. Women could only ride with her husband. I was respected by him as a truck owner, and as a woman, which was quite telling. That spoke volumes about me in the Russian trucking community. I had respect. When I arrived at the hospital, I went straight to the emergency section and asked for my daughter's location. The woman I spoke with earlier on the phone was the snippy tone, said to me, I told you on the phone, there is no Catherine Martin here. While in shock, I explained to this bitch, I was told by Kendron Hospital she was brought here in this morning and she died. My voice is low, tears are in my eyes, and my heart is shattered. She tells me to have a seat. She was going to find out where my daughter was. My head is exploding. My vision is blurred. My stomach's in knots. It has taken them forever to have the liaison call my name. Mrs. Fletcher, would you come with me? I followed her down a long hall to another short hall. She asked me to wait outside the door, 204. It was the door to the room my Kathy had been laid out for viewing. There she lies, covered to her chin with the white sheet. Her green eyes are open. Her strawberry blonde hair is a mess. Her belly is swollen. The sheet is raised over her stomach as if she was 9 months pregnant. The lighting was dim as to not wake her from the deep sleep she was in. The liaison placed a chair next to the bed where my firstborn child lies. She asked me, would you like a lock of her hair? Yes, I would. She left the room and came back with scissors and a plastic bag for me to put the clippings of her hair. I sat there, staring at Kathy, wondering what was I going to do with my daughter gone? And her children were gone too. They had been taken from her in 2006, and nothing is left from her for me to hang on to. Nothing but a lock of her hair. October 30th, 1971. A baby girl came into this world alone with only her mother. No one was there. No one was there with them to celebrate her birth. May 9th, 2012. A woman passes away alone with no one to grieve for her passing, only her mother. I had given my daughter up for adoption when she was born 40 years earlier. I wanted her to have all the things I was not going to be able to give her. I was only 15 when she was born. She found me when she was 24 years old, and we stayed together for 16 years. We lived together, we worked together, we cried and we laughed together. We had become best friends. Finally, the hole in my heart and soul was filled, even if it was only for 16 years. Okay. Okay. So that's all I got to say. Uh, I think that's good. But they came to missing since it's always dangerous for me. Yeah, I hear you, girl. So I guess I ain't gonna read anything today. So I hope y'all understand that being an empath is what my life is. Why I tell y'all, I feel it. I feel it all the time. It's after my daughter passed, I have heard from 3 of her kids. So they know where grandma's at now. They knew me. I helped deliver 2 of them. Took care of those kids, paid for. So I don't know. So then we have, this is the point of this is, we all have these things in our lives. Every one of us have this in our lives. We have issues. We have problems. We have all this stuff. The last thing we don't need is our government fucking with us. That's it. We just don't need it. We don't need our government making our lives 10 times harder than they need to be. So let's vote Democrats. Let's get on in. Then the love. Thank you, Fatima. But I have had some good stuff this week. My MAGA family is starting to see me. They're realizing I wasn't too far off when I didn't believe in. Yeah, Akila, it was. That's how I look at it. At least I had 16 years. 16 years that I may have never had. All right, thank you guys. Love ya. Sorry this ended up like this. No, I'm not. I needed to talk. Sometimes I just want to talk. I've got more. I'm going to be sharing more stuff to help you guys to understand that we don't have to put up with this dictatorships that's going on in the world. We don't have to. We are going to win. All right, love y'all. I'm going. Energy released. Negativity and positivity brought in. Bye-bye. Love you guys. Thank you for coming.